Alright, hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is going to be a different topic from what I have been putting out recently. So this is a little bit more personal to my work life and to my journey as Karen. By the way, that is my real name. Karen is my real name. Finally, I admitted that on YouTube. It's okay though. It's okay. Alright guys, so I've been wanting to make this video and I'm so happy I actually had the time to finally put this video out. Okay, so yeah guys, this is going to be a video about my nursing journey and I'm going to call this video Life After Passing the NCLEX. Okay, let's get into it, shall we? Okay, so after passing the NCLEX, I swear, my life went from 0 to 100 real quick. Shout out to Drake. Seriously, I found out I passed in January, and by the end of February, I was already starting a RN position. Yes, people, it got real quick. I went from crying to saying, oh, what? Wearing my navy blue scrubs. I did say I was gonna be able to, I did say I was going to record and bring you guys along with that journey. But at the same time, there are certain things I cannot record, and for privacy reasons, not only for myself, but for the organization that I'm working with at the moment, I cannot record certain things. So for the sake of not losing my job before I could even enjoy it, I am just going to talk about it. And I hope that's okay with you guys. But let's go back to what I was talking about. Let's go back, okay? So I found out I passed in the beginning of January. I went on my first interview. I believe it was like January 26th, around there. I went on an interview and I accepted the position February 1st, and my first day was February 26th. See how fast that went? Yeah, that went pretty fast. Just a little quick side note, I just want to add this quick little story into this, and that this is how good God is, right? Okay. I was working as a nurse's aide at the time that I found out I passed my test. Now, I was working with a sweet old lady, right? But there comes a time in your life where you feel like you're just not situated where you are. You can't get comfortable. Things are just going left and you can't seem to catch a grip. That's how I was. Like, I wouldn't say anything bad about her because she's a sweet lady. She's dealing with her situation, and she's being as understanding as she can be. But I knew that's not where I needed to be. And it was just a very uncomfortable feeling, I mean, long story short, I could feel us parting ways. I could feel the situation not working out. And for some reason, that particular night, I happened to bring my mother's laptop with me to work. And that night, I could feel her getting snappy at me and, turning little issues into big issues. And that night, I waited for her to go to sleep. And I just went on my mom's laptop and I was just putting in applications. I think I put in maybe 4 applications before the morning rose. And, I had to work with the lady again. And it was so weird because that morning, I felt betrayed. I felt betrayed because I felt like she threw me under the bus. Like, she had a complaint about me, and instead of telling me the complaint, she waited for somebody important in her life to come in and just complain to that person while I'm still in the room. Now, I find that highly disrespectful. And not only disrespectful, but it shows me you don't give a fuck. And that day, I quit. I didn't even think twice about it. Now, there are a lot of people who are not in my position who can quit. But for some, and I'm not the type of person to quit a job like that. I had to stand up for myself. And when you don't stand up for yourself, you show people how to treat you. I'm a firm believer in that. Okay? And that day I walked out, I was in my car and I started panicking. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I just quit my job. What the hell am I going to do? What the hell am I going to do? And then I got a call. The last hospital that I applied for called me that morning, literally on my way home from that job that I just quit. I got a call from that hospital saying, hey, we would like to schedule an interview with you. You like to what? You like to... That's what you... Shit, what time? What time? You know, like, oh my goodness, what time? I put this application like 3 o'clock this morning. And literally, it's not even 11 o'clock in the same day. 11 a.m. I'm talking. This is definitely destined. You know? So, yeah. So, I happened to go on the interview. And mind you, when I pulled up to this hospital, my jaw dropped. And I should have did my, I should have did my research on a hospital before I got there, and I definitely recommend that. I'm going to put that down below. Tip number 1, research the place that you are applying to. That's tip number 1, because I didn't do that. So when I got to that hospital, my jaw literally dropped, because this hospital is huge. It's huge. And for a brand new nurse, I'm going to call myself a brand new nurse because clearly I've never worked at a hospital before, especially with the title registered nurse. Okay, so as a brand new nurse, it's scary pulling up to a building that can take up the whole block. Because it's like, where do I fit in this whole predicament? Pretty intimidating, okay? But I put on my girl panties on, my big girl panties on, and I walked in there. The interview process was pretty self-explanatory. The questions that they asked were pretty surprising. I thought they were going to ask me a lot of patient type questions, but the questions that really caught me off guard was, how do you cope? How do you cope with stress, anxiety, death? They asked me those type of questions, and I was pretty surprised that they would be asking me questions like that. I mean, you think it would be common sense that they would ask a nurse, how does she cope? Because, you're going to be seeing a lot of things. You're going to be under a lot of stress. You're going to be having 6 or more patients. So you have to learn how to manage your time. You have to learn how to, deal with different personalities. Your manager is going to be different from your supervisor. Your supervisor is going to be different from your coworkers. Your coworkers are going to be different from the CNAs, the LPNs, the house care workers. Like, everybody's going to be different. So you yourself have to realize who you are as an individual so that you can actually deal with the different personalities and deal with it in a way that's satisfactory and that's helpful to you. They asked me, because I graduated a while back. I'm not even gonna put my situation out there like that. But if you If you look at my videos in the past, you can put it together. Okay. I graduated a while ago, and then so they wanted to know what's up with the gap. And you know, I had to be honest. I had to be honest. But anyways, let's let that fly. Okay. I know they asked me like, what do I want to do besides being a registered nurse? Like, is the registered nurse title where I want to stay, or do I want to improve? Do I want to go back to school? And like, the interview process went completely different from what I thought it was gonna be. I thought they were gonna ask me questions like, you have 3 patients on one floor and one has to leave for a medical procedure. Who patient do you see first? I was expecting NCLEX type questions as interview type questions. And interviewing is exactly what it is. They're interviewing you. They're interviewing you as a person to see if your personality, if you would actually be somebody they need on their floor. Because at the end of the day, each floor needs a certain type of group to help make sure the machine runs well. And they just want to know if I will be that addition to their team to make sure their machine runs well. Right? Right. Okay? It's funny because I interviewed for a floor. Let's just say it was a step down unit. It was a step down unit. It was a step down from what? I can't recall right now. But anywho, I end up interviewing for that because that's the person who called me from on that floor. But they had another lady, another nurse manager come to help with the interview process, because when you're interviewing, I want you to do this for yourself. Expect at least 4 to 5 people, on a round table, real mafia style. Hey, what you gonna do? Real mafia style. You're gonna get real intimidated, and it's okay. They expect that. They expect you to feel intimidated. They expect you to feel scared and whatnot because they want the real you to come out. Because what happens when you get scared? The real you comes out. The flight or fight response comes out, right? Right. And they want to see that. They want to see how do you react under pressure. They want to see that, okay? But at that particular time, only 2 people were able to interview me. The nurse manager who wanted me to be on her floor, and another nurse manager from a med-surg floor. Okay. Now, while I was interviewing, they were asking me, these type questions that I told you guys about, and I left there feeling like maybe I didn't get the job because the interview went great. It's what happened after the interview that made me feel like, maybe not, because she didn't say anything bad, like, oh my goodness, you didn't get the job. But I was just like, well, I hope I get a call back from you guys, And then she's like, okay. Well, if you want to get on this highway, it'll take you straight back to your house. I was like, bitch. The fact that she told me what highway to get on to, the best get me back to Florida, I was like, if that's not a goodbye, I don't know what is. And so I got really intimidated. I was just like, damn, I drove all this way and I didn't even get the job. So I only went on that one interview. I went on a second interview because on my way home I got a call from another hospital, but it was for a mental illness hospital, and I'm not about that life. Yeah, and you can't even protect yourself. Nah, I'm straight. Okay, cool. All right. So that wasn't a real interview, and that interview was what? Now that interview process was asking me NCLEX type questions. They were asking me, care plans. They were asking me questions about care plans. They were asking me questions about certain steps to certain procedures, and I was just like, this is not for me. Thank you, but no thank you. on my way home, obviously I felt like a complete failure. So on my way home, I get a call. I get a call from the hiring manager, and it's completely different from nursing manager. Hiring managers are above the nursing managers, okay? So the hiring manager calls me and said, you had a great interview, but we're offering you a position on a different floor. The nurse manager who was helping out with the interview process would like for you to work on her floor. I was like, oh my goodness. That completely caught me off guard because that nurse manager, she was just helping out. She didn't really ask that much questions. She was really quiet. Like, I felt like I was a little bit wasting her time because I didn't feel like she even was feeling me in that type of way. She really didn't say much, you know? So I was shocked when they said that she's the one that wants me on her floor. I was like, okay, yeah, I accept. Right now, currently, I'm working on a med-surg floor, and yeah, life 0 to 100. I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty lonely because I don't know anybody down here. I'm just getting to know some of my coworkers. I mean, I don't even know a lot of their first names yet. And it's lonely. I don't even know how else to say it. It's lonely because I have nobody up here. I don't have no friends, not one family member. All my family's in Florida. Everything I know is in Florida. So I'm literally starting a whole new life, starting a whole new job. I have my own place now. But it's nice having your own place, but at the same time, it's like very lonely because nobody's coming over to visit. Why do I have a two-piece couch set and a nice coffee table and a fireplace? And, you know, why do I have all these things? A nice bedroom. I ain't got no man I'm laying up with, you know. I barely have a friend to come over. So don't mind me. So, and I haven't really started my first day with patients yet. I'm still doing computer-based learning, which is what you have to do before you can actually work with. Congratulations. Hang in there. Stick in there. This is the time to get to know who you are. This is the time. And I do mean that personally. This is the time you get to know who you are. What floor do you want to work with? What type of boundaries do you have for yourself? You have to know that up front, because once somebody tries that boundary, you know how to step forward, okay? You know how to step forward. That's when you tell that person, we don't do that. We're not going to do that. Not today, bitch. Not today. Okay. All right, guys. So stay loving, stay positive. As always, keep love first. Bye, y'all.